We have 4 incredible agents. Theme of the panel is agents that have leveled up, kind of learning their tips, tricks, secrets behind how they leveled up. What we'll do is we'll do a quick intro. We'll go down the line. I'll ask some questions, and then we will open it up at the end for you guys to ask some questions if you have some time. You want to introduce yourself, please?
I didn't mean to be first, excuse me.
Let me trade down. We can go the other way. Here. Chris, be a gentleman and introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Chris Wertz. I've been on the Young Team since February. Based out of West Akron, Bath Fairlawn area. I don't know, I was at EXP for 4 years before. Got my license in 21.
And what does business look like for you?
Last year I did about 9,033 units. This year I just hit 10 million this morning actually at 37 units.
Yeah. Nice.
Mark, how about for yourself?
Mark Young, eXp Realty. This past August was my 19th year in the industry.
Nice. Megan?
Megan Eckstein. I am in the Canton area. I've been licensed since 2023, and so far this year, myself and my team, we've closed 68 units this year.
Nice. And how big is your team?
We have 5.
Nice. Kelly?
I'm Kelly Mahoney. I am with the agency. I got licensed December 31st of 2020. I'm a solo agent, and I think I'm at 24 million in total for the 4 years. It's 4 years because I didn't really start right away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. We'll start with you, Kelly. How did you get into real estate?
So I don't have a great fancy story.
You can make it up real quick.
Yeah. Became an empty nester and thought I wanted to do something else with my time. When I'd get home, I was in the medical field for 29 years. So I wanted to do more with my time, and on HGTV it makes it look like you just show 3 houses and get one during commercial break. So I was like, that's got to be easy, I'll do that. So that's how I got started.
Love it. Megan, what about for you?
I'm in the process of being an empty nester. I
Yeah.
think I started a little earlier than I should have just waited.
Yeah, it's much better when you wait.
Yeah. So I started in 2023. I don't have an exciting story either. In 2020, I had my fantastic career that I thought I was going to retire from, and COVID hit and I lost my job. And so I was a regional sales manager for Sugardale Foods, and I loved it. And my husband and I have been investing in real estate since 2012, and this was kind of, what am I going to do with my life type thing. I went back into my career of food, and I got my license as just a side hustle, and that didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to. So my first year I was a part-time agent, dual agent, and then I stopped working in the first part of 2024. So
Incredible. Mark, probably a very different story.
A little bit. I got started in the industry when I was 19. I was going to Akron U, and on A&E Flip This House was like a big thing. And so a buddy of mine, we borrowed some money from his dad and we started flipping houses. And my mom was a real estate agent. My uncle owned a local brokerage down in the Akron area. And just to save some money on commissions, my uncle was like, you should get your license. I know you work with your mom, but So I did that in 2007 in August, and it was a wonderful business model considering in 2008 everything just completely crashed. But I had a ton of knowledge in the REO short sale world, which was all that happened over the next couple of years, and so that kind of springboarded my career. And since then, I just ran the numbers the other day. It's just 1,200, almost 1,300 units and 200 and whatever $1 million in sales.
Incredible.
yeah.
Chris, what about for you? Origin story.
I was in the restaurant industry for a long time. Ran it through COVID, which was awesome. Realized that sucked, and one of my bar regulars said you'd be good at real estate, and said, hey, I'll get you your license while everything was shut down. And I came right out of COVID and just went for it.
Nice. All right, we're going to do something a little different than we've ever done here before. We are going to have a little crowd participation. If at any point Chris answers with I just got lucky. You guys can all boo him. That's his favorite answer, and it's not true.
It's not true at all.
Chris, tell us, when did you level up? What did that
Honestly,
look like?
right when I came over here, I realized that like I was kind of limiting myself with where I was working. I was on a smaller team down in Akron. I was kind of the ISA admin, TC, and the most sales on the team as well. And I realized I was just running around like crazy and miserable. So I said, hey, let me go somewhere and surround myself with a bunch of people that are producing real numbers, have entirely different business models, and see what's possible.
Love it. Mark, what was the turning point for you, kind of like hitting that next level?
So when I was reading the question, in almost 20 years now, it's sort of been a roller coaster. There's been kind of peaks and valleys depending on the market and personal circumstances and stuff. I would say that if I had to nail down when I quote unquote leveled up was when I realized that it's not transactional, which is sort of another answer to one of the other things you're going to be asking, but it's not transactional. It's really a human being industry, right? And so probably 5 or 6 years after I was licensed, I realized it's not just about a closing and getting a commission check, it's about the relationship.
And probably kind of timed in a little bit with like going from REO to
Yes.
some of that other stuff.
Yep, correct.
'Cause unfortunately, like REO is very
It's extremely transactional. Yeah.
Megan.
So I leveled up when I started. I haven't had my license that long. And I hit Rookie of the Year the first year, and I truly got my license because my husband and I invest, and we've only purchased 2 properties since I got my license and started this. So when I started, I thought this was going to be a part-time, seasonal type of thing, and when I really took the leap and quit my job and did this full-time, this really was kind of where I leveled up, because I realized you need to get up and work every day. So
Love it. Kelly, what about for you?
Mine's very similar to that. So when I started to do this, it was the intent for part-time and just for fun and get decorating ideas. And then I learned that that's not what it doesn't look like TV. So I did Rookie of the Year. I really fell in love with it. Didn't realize that, and I still had my full-time job. And my first year, I think I did close to 5 million, and I was approached and told that it really wasn't normal for your first year to be doing that, but I didn't know what that really meant. So I just realized when I walked out of my job, I had to, because people were asking me for x-rays, and I'm like, I'm on the MLS, I'll get with you in just a second. So I was like having this affair with like real estate because I loved it so much. So March 16th of 2023, I walked out of my job of 29 years and decided to do it full time. And I didn't have, ironically, I had nothing under contract. I was like, what did I just do? I called my husband on the way home. I was like, I just left. He's like, oh no. But no, it was all encouraging. But that was the day, because then I had to now go hunt.
became real.
Sink or swim?
Yeah, it's now sink or swim.
Cool.
Nothing.
So one of the things that's incredible, we got 4 agents here that are all running amazing businesses, all with a little bit of a different path. Kelly is a solo agent, Megan and Mark with variations on team, and then Chris being on a team. Kelly, why are you a solo agent? Why did you choose to be a solo agent? Why do you choose to stay a solo agent as opposed to being on a team?
So, well, when I first got in, again, I didn't understand what a realtor did. I didn't understand what the dynamic was. And I was at KW, passed my test. I was told you flunked like 7 times, but I passed it right away. And they were like, go sell a house. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So in a conversation came up with, do you want to be in a team or do you want to be solo? I didn't know that either. I was like, what does that mean? So interviewed with a team lead, and after a few months of that interview process, she was just like, you're a solo agent. You're definitely a solo agent. And I am an only child. I am a little bit controlling. And I thought to myself, I want to do this. I just want to do this on my own. I want to figure this out on my own. I want to fall and get up. That's just been my thing. So I went solo and haven't looked back.
Love it. Full accountability.
Yeah.
Megan, you said 5 people on your team.
Yes.
Why you started solo and then you've built a team in a pretty short period of time? Tell us about that.
In a really short amount of time. So when I officially quit my job and went into real estate full-time, I was really full-time, but we'll say that I was going part-time beforehand. I have always been in management sales roles before. I love leading a team and collaborating with a team to grow business together. And when I went solo, I was missing that part of my life that I really loved and enjoyed. And I got to the point where I needed a transaction coordinator, and then it all fell into place. It was not even on my radar, but then more people came to me and said, hey, are you going to start a team? And here we are. And our team is very different. So it's a democracy at our team. We get to choose events that we do together. We get to choose how we spend funds together. So it helps the entire team and not just one person. So we're like a little family.
Nice. Mark, give us a little background on like what your team kind of business looks like, and then why you chose to go that route.
So I currently have a full-time office manager, TC. He does everything, and 2 agents on the team. I've been that size for the past couple of years. 4 years ago, I had 9 agents. Yeah, 9 agents and a full-time and a part-time staff person. And seasonality of life. I think that I will probably do that again. My kids, at the time that I decided to kind of shrink that, were 8 and 10 or something like that, and I just wanted to completely focus on them, obviously, and still work, but I just felt like it was just way too much for me to handle. So in my career, I hired a part-time admin that had her license, that kind of became a full-time admin / showing agent after my 2nd year in the business, and I've had either staff or a team since then. So I made the hire because I realized very quickly that I sucked at a lot of things that I didn't want to do also. And so I delegated it out and realized that it allowed me to go and do the things that allowed me to make money. So
yeah, that's great. So you realized you needed leverage.
Yep.
Found leverage.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Chris, you're on a team.
Yeah.
Why?
For me, I kind of realized, actually, while you some of the questions, I liked working in groups from restaurants and stuff, so that was always kind of appealing to me. And then all the people, everyone has their own group of train wrecks and problems and strategies to get deals, and you get all of those agents on the team. You get all of their knowledge, all of their little stories and their little strategies that they've solved things. Plus the opportunities from their listings, their buyers, referrals. It's a huge machine, and there's so much information that I think you're crazy not to take advantage of it, at least somewhat.
And outside of that, how has being part of a team helped you level up?
Just that, problem solving. I can't tell you how many times I have called agents on this team at 9 in the morning with some kind of problem, and they go, oh yeah, here's what you do, here's how you handle it. And that to me is worth its weight in gold, just learning how to navigate and solve those problems through others' experience.
Cool. Mark, you mentioned, you've had different phases of your team. What were the challenges when you were first building it that came up?
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenge was not knowing the team structure wasn't a thing back then. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but it certainly, 15 years ago or whatever, wasn't what it is now. So I didn't have, to your point, not just on the agent client level, but I didn't have a sphere or a network of other team leaders that I could say, what should I do or not do? It was sort of just, failing as I go, and then, sticking with what works and trying to wade through all that.
If you were starting from scratch now, what would you do differently?
Focus on net as opposed to gross. Really look at the money.
Yeah.
it's cool to have your name up on a billboard and in lights and all that fun stuff, but at the end of the day, like, what are you taking home? And so I think if you can start there, and I'm not a bean counter, I'm not an Excel sheet guy, but so I'm not wired to look at the money, like as far as all the different things, but I can tell you that if you start with that and reverse engineer up, your decision making on what you do and where you spend your time and how you spend your money would have been completely different.
You like it when you go to the store and you swipe the credit card and they don't say decline.
Well, I have a couple, so I just,
That's spoken like real estate agent. It's like, let me try this one, try this one. Megan, what about for you? What's hardest part about leading a team versus when you were just producing on your own?
So we've had a little bit of challenges. We have lost, we lost one of our teammates, they left, and that's, was kind of a kick to the gut just personally. But for the most part, we really get along really well. And I think just trying to navigate every person's unique situation, unique style of sales, and kind of morphing that into what the team looks like as a whole. I think that would be one of the bigger challenges that we've had that we've overcome, but that initially it was 5 people in a room and everybody has a lot of different ideas, so let's narrow this down and make it look like it's part of our team and our goal and our focus.
So speaking of that, how do you ensure that like quality and client experience is consistent across the board, like representative of your team, and it doesn't like vary per person on your team?
Yeah, so we have a processes and procedures, kind of guidelines that we've come up with. I say we. Jess has come up with, and we kind of implement. She really takes it and kind of makes sure that everybody is acting the same. Everybody has the same experience, but we all work together as well. So we make sure that the processes and procedures are aligned for every situation. Plus, I am kind of focusing on commercial at this point, so that has been another challenge, just because most of everybody else is in the residential space for the most part, and I'm doing commercial. So that's been another unique step in our little team. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Kelly, very different challenges, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about managing other people. You don't have to worry about any of that. How do you manage growth and avoid burnout without a team, just doing it by yourself?
So I was thinking about that yesterday, that question. And to be quite honest, I don't know if it's just my personality or a combination of that and my passion for what I'm doing. So I really haven't experienced the burnout. I'm lucky in that sense, but it's also been only 4 years, right? It's only been 4 years. So I don't know if that question would look really different if I'd been doing this for 20 years, but I found my passion after 50 years old. So so I really haven't really experienced the burnout. The stresses for sure, but the actual burnout I haven't. So knock on wood to that. But again, I absolutely love what I do, and the support of my family has really made the biggest difference for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it's like you interviewed with a team at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've said, over the years people have talked to you about it. Is there anything that you've seen in a team that you feel like would really improve your business, or you feel pretty strong right now with kind of not having seen the burnout, none of that you're super happy by yourself?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything that would get me to that point. And where I'm at now, I've actually found, fortunate to find a situation that I'm a solo agent where I am, but we are working as, we collaborate, which is super important to your point too. So having those struggles or anything like that, I do have that
good
support,
sense of community.
Yep, and that group that I can to bounce things off of. So short of like leaving the state and not having a sphere, that would probably be the only, or leave the country. I don't know. That would be the only way that I would probably join a team.
Makes sense. Chris, last question kind of in this segment for you. What would you have liked to have known about a team before you chose to join one?
I thought about that, and that's a really hard one for me to answer because I've always been on teams. To me, the differences between like a small team and a big team are massive. I guess I wish I would have known like how much support you can actually get on a bigger team, and like how much you can actually rely on everyone else instead of basically running a solo business on a smaller team. That's what it always felt like to me, was the small 3, 4, 5 agent team models really feel like solo businesses to me. So I mean, that's probably it.
Gotcha.
Can I back up just for a second? I'm going to interrupt. I wish that when I first started, there was like this magical document that existed that, hey, this is a team and this is the solo agent. And hey, by the way, you have a lot of fees to pay for right after you passed your exam. That would have been nice to know.
That sounds like something that Kate Johnson should
Not to put you on the spot.
I mean, Greater Metropolitan has that.
Oh, okay.
You guys want it? See Kate on the way out.
It'd be an expensive hobby, that's for sure. This would be a very expensive hobby.
It was shocking when
Yeah.
you first get your license and you're like, wait, what? I have to pay what? And what is this? So that was a shock when you first get your license.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, Chris, what's one thing you wish you knew earlier in your career?
How important follow-up was, and I mean, it's so dumb and it's so repetitive, everyone says it, but it's the most important thing you can do. Just returning phone calls, getting back to people, just doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, it means the world. I've gotten so much business from that.
Mark, what about for you?
Same exact answer. I mean, it's not because he, said it, even though
Yeah, you're doing great.
But no, this business has a lot of complications, but it's not a complicated business. Follow up, sort of I would say in the first 3 to 5, well, as soon as you start, up until let's say 3 to 5 years, it's like the follow up on the leads or the potential business. Once you have kind of a sphere and base of business, it's obviously still that, but then staying in touch with your clients from the past, and then have a system to do it. I have made it a goal over the last few years to get a lot better at that, but I completely failed miserably at that initially.
Gotcha. Megan?
I think I just answered it
Okay.
on accident, just because when you first start, you have tons of fees that you don't know about. And I didn't know what a team was. I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know anything really. And one of the things when I first started that I think was super beneficial was I took a lot of CE classes or the classes that were in, that are in legacy. And I learned a lot from that. The online real estate school teaches you, a little bit, but the CE classes and the collaboration in the office was really, really beneficial. I'm just trying to say something different than follow up because that's really important too.
It's one of those things sometimes when all the panelists say the exact same thing, maybe the people sitting in the audience should listen.
Yeah, so follow up also, but I always like to try to educate myself even more. So.
There's a lot of things in real estate where people like come to these things because they want some new special answer, and it's like most of it is not new.
Pretty wake up, grind, it's boring. I mean, it's fun, but the actual processes are like checklist.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow up.
I think the expression is like it's simple, it's not easy.
Correct. Yep.
Kelly, what about for you? What's one thing you wish you knew earlier in your career?
Well, a little bit of all of that. I will say that for me, that's probably my strongest, is the follow-up has always been my strong because I'm a super people person. I like to people. I people a lot, actually. But I think just for me, personally, it was just the faith and the confidence that I could do it or I could see what other people were seeing and just charging ahead because I think I was so timid and so afraid that I was letting fear, and then the business was running me in the very beginning. My business ran me, I didn't run it.
Gotcha. All right, I'm gonna ask a question for Megan and Kelly. I'm gonna challenge you guys not to answer the like sink or swim answer that you've given previously. what mindset shift helped you grow the most? So past like you quit your job, sink or swim, since that point, what shift in your mindsets helped you make the biggest improvement?
Well, just like my last answer, just having confidence, like true confidence in what I'm doing and believing in what I'm doing and connecting with the people that I'm working with. And so that for me is the mindset I had to get myself. I was in my own way in the very beginning, doing really well and still doubting everything I was doing. So, and people would be like, you're doing great. Wow, you're so, I'm like, am I though? I don't know that I really am. And that was a wrong answer, right? I should have just take ownership of it and do well and just go forward with it. But I
was
still
there
work with it.
something specific, mastering something, hitting a certain sales volume, something that like all of a sudden you're like, damn, I got this? That you're like, I'm confident now.
I'd still work on it, to be quite honest. I still have to work on it every now and again when I have a deal or two falling apart. I'm like, is this for me? Like, I'm terrible at this. This is awful. Like, but I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress. I am doing much better. I think quitting my job, the way I quit and walked out, and because that's a whole other story, but it was warranted after 29 years. But I think that just having that confidence to do that was the moment.
Love it.
Yeah.
Megan, what about for you?
I agree with you. The confidence
Yeah.
is, when you first start, you don't really know what you're doing. And you talk to a lot of people in the office or agents that you've met and go to CE classes, you're learning, but as you gain confidence, it helps tremendously. And, was there some deal or anything that made this aha moment? Well, last week I did a Zoom market analysis, and the minute that I got off the Zoom call, I started tearing up because I was really proud of myself and like I didn't mess it up. So it still happens every day. You're still learning every day. My confidence level at the beginning of that Zoom call, I was like, I'm going to screw this up. And I'm talking to people from all the way across the country, and I got the listing, and I'm really excited. But
Congrats.
Thank you. It's a big one. But to do something on Zoom, it was different. So your confidence level kind of changes throughout the process, and you can't say I'm confident today because you're going to get thrown a curveball on something that you've never done and you won't know how to do. But educate yourself, I guess.
It feels good when you get it.
Yeah, it does.
Really good.
Yeah.
Mark, what about for you? What was the mindset shift?
This was the only question on there that I was like, I don't know. I don't have like a starburst moment. I think when I can't remember what year it was. My third year. It was the first time that I got my 1099, and I was like, oh wow, like that's a decent amount of money. But it was a really weird feeling because I got super depressed afterwards, like immediately, because I knew what I had to do that over again. So like once I got over that hump, that I had the ability to do it, I kind of always, and even today, still struggle with the fact that like I dropped out of college. Like I flipped my first house. I didn't say this earlier, but so when I was 19, I flipped my first house. My buddy and I made $35,000. We split it, and the next day I walked into Econ 101, and this professor was talking about how like if you get your degree and all these things, and 8 years you'll be making 50 grand a year. And I picked my book bag up and walked out, and I never went back. And I was like, this is not for me. So at the time it felt like a very like self-empowerment moment. But over my career, I've kind of always been stuck in the 19-year-old kid that walked out of so I just think like for me it was the realization that I could make real money in this business, and then getting over the hump that like yes, you can continue to do this.
Incredible. Chris?
I don't know, it's kind of a weird one for me. I just realized one day I see all these other people doing it, why can't I? They're not any smarter, better, stronger, like why can't I just go out and sell? Look, but you're one of them. I even worked in the office with you and Farrell on seeing the business you were running, seeing what Bill was doing, seeing all these other agents have these successful businesses. I go, well, why can't I do that too? Mm-hmm. And I decided to start doing it and just, I don't know, started selling.
Love it. All right, Chris, what habit or routine is non-negotiable for your success?
Every day when I get home, I have to go through my phone and sit there for like 25 minutes and go back through all the texts and calls and make sure I call everyone back, because that has been a problem for me, making sure I get back with people.
Okay. And what would you say, what system, tool, or process made the biggest difference?
Your
for you?
sister.
I don't know if she's a tool, process, or system.
But just like the reinforcement, the discipline, the systems, there's still a lot she would like me to be doing a little bit more, but it's a work in progress.
You're doing a great job, Chris. Trust me.
Thanks.
Love it. Mark, what about for you? Habit or routine, non-negotiable for your success?
Similar to Chris, I aside from selling real estate, a single dad, got 2 kids that are now 14 and 16, and they're fully engulfed in life. And I have a little small contracting company. We flip houses, and so at the end of the day, it's very easy for me to completely screw up and forget to call somebody back. So just making sure that I do that. As far as a tool, or what was the next one?
System,
A
tool,
system.
something like that.
Yeah. If there's ever anything in the day that comes across my desk or my my email, whatever, I make sure that I screenshot it, I send it to the office and say, just please put it on my calendar, or whatever it is. The system is making sure that I am delegating it at the moment that it needs to actually happen.
Love it. So you've got somebody, you send it out, somebody puts it on,
Yes.
calendar, to-do list, something.
Yep.
I love that. Megan, what about for you?
Can I ask, because
Yeah,
that's
of course.
brilliant, the 20 minutes when you get home. So do you do that like in the car before you shut it down, or like do
I
you
can't
go
in my house. I have to
inside?
sit in the driveway
Yeah.
in my car, and like that's my decompress, is like I don't
Yeah.
even walk in my house because I'll get distracted then and instantly forget.
Yeah.
I have to do it all right then and there.
That's brilliant, because when you get home, you have kids and, husband or, whatever, and they want to talk to you, and you're like, hold on, I have to go through this. So you just sit in your car.
I have no
Brilliant.
kids, it's just me. I'm just irresponsible.
That's probably pretty true. All right, Megan.
So sorry.
That's good.
No, I'm all screwed up. Hold on one moment.
Any non-negotiable habits?
I try to time manage my time as effectively as possible. You get a little off kilter, especially during the summertime, but I try to take Tuesdays and Thursdays and just really take a couple hours and focus on my leads, my business, my accounts, processes and procedures. I learned very early, but not early enough, to make sure that your accounting aspect is you're really on top of it, because you can lose focus on that. And having a tax person that's really good and knows real estate and being a realtor, that's important. So I always try to take once a week to go over that, and then we use our CRM program.
Which CRM do you use?
We use Command,
Okay.
and we've done really well with it. We do all of our advertising for social media through that, and we do all of our lead generation through that. So if you stay up on it, you can generate some pretty good leads. So
Love it. Kelly, what about for you? Habit or roots, like something
Yeah,
non-negotiable?
coffee.
Okay.
I don't.
How many cups a day?
So I will only have 1 cup a day, but I have to get up in the morning. I wish this was all really real estate related, what I'm about to say, but I truly will get up. I have to have a cup of coffee. It has to be quiet. I have to think about my day, what I have going on. I kind of just will scroll through my phone, take a look at it, and then I solve a murder on Dateline before I start my day. That is like a true story. And my husband keeps going, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know, that's what I do. I just watch Dateline for an hour.
you put us beside each other on purpose, didn't you?
I thought you guys pick your own
No,
seats.
but
Oh,
can I
okay.
have have a stressful day, I'm like,
I mean, I have to.
I'm taking a time out.
Yeah,
don't I?
it's almost
I'm
like
I'm
yeah,
taking a time
but
out.
and if I'm not doing a Dateline, but I will have to have my cup of coffee in the morning, like kind of like plan my day out, look at things, and I have to have quiet time. Like it's just
That's why you haven't burned out yet.
Yeah, I have my
I
quiet
think
time.
what's interesting is like you kind of like just apologized about it not being directly real estate related. We've asked this question over numerous panels, and it is, I would say, at least half of the people, like their habit or routine that they feel like contributes the biggest thing to their success is not real estate related. It's something, morning related or evening related.
It's just my
I'll
time.
add something to that. So, but two things. One, 100%, whether it's, that for me, I'll go grab a cup of coffee in the middle of the day and like a donut or something to just like decompress or go to the driving range. So like this business can be so cloudy and or, make you so just in your head. And so then the second thing though, as far as like you said, command, does everybody know the best CRM tool out there? Come on. The one you're gonna use, exactly, yeah. So, yeah.
So the biggest thing we've learned so far is if you guys see Mark in the middle of the day at the driving range, he's still working.
I'm still working.
Still working.
That's great.
Oh,
all right. Oh, you.
I don't know. My system
Yes.
is.
Oh, please. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. That is for me follow-up. That is actually my system, my tool. I've done it from the very beginning. I started to really realize that my sphere was my biggest asset. And that has just been, and that's actually come to me over the past year. But I am really good on my touches. If I have to give myself a compliment for something or what I feel like I'm good at for my system, it's not necessarily sitting on the computer and it's a program. It's just the real life touches that I do. So I make it a point to do more than just like a calendar at the beginning of the year or a pie at November. I try to be very genuine and intentional throughout the year with my people.
How do you stay on top of that?
A lot of it is social media.
Okay.
And so I'm terrible with social media when it comes to like posting my food and showing everybody where I'm at. Like I'm in my generation, that's like very out of sorts for me. But I do use it to see what my clients are doing in their lives. If there's a graduation, like I will send a graduation card. Like it's really more intentional than just those things that they're getting from their insurance agent, their car insurance, State Farm sending you something that I am, like the same things over and over again. So I try to, and I also will set up not events, but I do one-on-ones. I do that a lot. So I feel like that is more connecting for me than hoping on a prayer. I have a bunch of sandwiches and I'm having an event. I would rather just have, my Sue, have her go have coffee with me, or let's go have lunch, or talk, and that's what I do.
Love it. Well, let's start with you for the next question. What advice would you give to someone who feels stuck at their current level?
Get uncomfortable. So when I feel stuck, like right now for me, like I just mentioned social media, I'm forcing myself to do more out there just because I know I have to change with the times. I know that I have to move in a direction. You've got to constantly be moving. And when it gets chaotic, you just have to stand still because it feels like chaos sometimes every day.
Nice. Megan, what about for you? Advice you'd give someone stuck at their current level?
Yeah, so I would say make a GPS or goals for the year and then make it very intentional and break it out through month. And if you need to, break it out through week. So if you feel stuck, you can always go back to that and say, okay, why do I feel stuck? This is where I should be. These are the tools that I was using to grow my business, and what tools have I not used? So you can place accountability on yourself. We use a GPS monthly, and we're in the process of trying to come up with our goals for next year already. And we implement, here's by quarter, here's where we need to be to achieve our goals for the year. And if you feel stuck, you're either not organized or you haven't hit your goals. So you need to go back and check where you are and what you're missing.
Real quickly, before we go on to Mark, I feel like there's some people here who might be wondering, it's like middle of September. Why are you talking about goals for next year? Can you enlighten everybody?
Yeah, so we check our goals and check our transactions every quarter. So we're in the almost finished the third quarter, and here's what we hit for first quarter. Here's the transactions that we went through for next year for first quarter. Where do we want to be? And we kind of just evaluate everything by quarter and just start talking about next year, because you always have to be ahead of the game to set up everything that you want to do for the following year.
Yeah. Well, in real estate, right? It's like the sales cycle. It's like we're new business now. Someone you talk to today for the first time is probably closing first quarter next year.
Right.
Mark, what about for you? What's some advice you'd give to someone who feels stuck at their current level?
I'll echo a bit on what you said about getting uncomfortable. I don't think there's anything that, in my opinion, there's nothing that can push you in this business other than yourself and forcing yourself to get into a position that makes you uncomfortable. And for everybody, that's a different scenario. So whatever that looks like for you. So I would start there, but along with that, a small win. So that could be literally calling a friend, well, not like a best friend, but someone that's in your sphere that's warm, and inviting them for a cup of coffee or for lunch. You're gonna knock out a couple birds with one stone. You're gonna have a face-to-face. They're eventually gonna talk to you about real estate, because they know that's what you do, and people want to talk about real estate and babies, and that's pretty much it. So you're gonna get a win out of that. Even if nothing happens at the moment, you're gonna walk out, you're gonna pay the check and feel like you've accomplished something. Because I think that this business can grind you down. And so having just a small win in one day, like the GPS is great. I am not, that's not how I do it. I do it on a quarterly basis. It's hard for me to plan any farther than that. I know how the sales cycle is, but I just know that I'll get ahead of myself and it's all useless just for me. So I'm like a day by day. If I can get a win, sweet.
Love that. Chris, what about for you?
I think they need to change habits. Like if you're stuck, you gotta either change your routine, change what you're doing, change the room you're in, just change something and figure out like what are the things that you don't want to do and why, and focus on those and try to change your habits and routines based on that.
I love that. I like the idea of changing the room you're in, even if it's not like a permanent change. It's like coming to something like this, listening to the four of you, might give you that spark to kind of move to the next level. All right, Chris. What's this will be the last question. We'll open it up to the group. Chris, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received in real estate, and why did it come from me?
I hate you. Honestly, someone told me real early on, like what you do and the money's gonna follow. And I've kind of always held true to that, and you just don't focus on the paycheck. I think one of you guys said it, just focus on the people, focus on the job at hand, and just getting it done for them for the right reasons, and you'll make the money.
There you go. Mark, what about for yourself?
We're in a people business. So somebody told me a long time ago, STP is not motor oil, it stands for see the people. And you can sit behind a desk on social media and post in TikTok. I do not do that. Maybe I'm losing business because of it, but it's just not kind of my generation. I guess I'm sort of in the middle there. I think it's great for those that want to take advantage of it, but we are in a handshake, sitting down and face-to-face business. And so if you got licensed yesterday, today, see somebody. That's the key to the business.
Love it as well. Megan.
So I agree with both of them. And I'm all about education and confidence. I get my confidence from education. So I think I went to my first CE class and I kind of got hooked. And I know CE sucks. I know it does. But there's some really good ones out there. And every time I've learned something new to follow up in my business, and it's really helped. So it's really given me the confidence to go out and speak to my clients and know what I'm talking about because I've been through that class. So that's my advice.
That's great. Kelly?
For me, it was just to be yourself and not try to please every single person and be everybody's cup of tea, because that can be exhausting, and that also wears on your confidence level, I think. So I think for me, it was just, be yourself and attract who you attract, and let those people work with you, and just expand on that.
It's incredible. All right, let's do this. Obviously, a lot of really good things covered. Very different places of business, different businesses. Love to open it up to all of you. I'm sure you guys have some great questions for everybody. Who has a question?
Not everybody at once.
What's the next level for you guys?
Who's going?
Who are you asking?
Chris, you want to? We'll start with Chris and run it down.
I mean, I want to hit 20 million next year, 70 houses.
20 million next year?
Yeah.
And that will be your what year in the business?
5th.
Nice. Mark?
This is a terrible question. It's a great question, not a good question for me.
He's got a terrible job.
Yeah,
You're doing a great job.
I would love it if 80% of as long as I've been doing this, I know I've said that a couple times, but I feel old, but as long as I've been doing this, I do not close as many sphere leads as I need to. And I would love it if 80%, if in the next couple of years, I could look at the end of the year and say 80% or more of my business was 100% either new because of a referral, like a warm referral, or a past client. It's not lopsided. I am heavier on the referral side, but I think it's just because I'm old enough in the business, but I still try to focus on the cold stuff, and I would love to get it to the
If
other
you
side
had
of
to
that.
guess, what percentage would you say you're at now?
I would say I'm probably 60 or 65%.
Okay. A 15% improvement would be incredible.
Yeah.
Megan?
So for 2026, our goal is to really focus on social media and ads and really gain that traction. So we've already started in on the goals for what we're going to do for 2026. And then my goal personally is to do probably 60% of my business in commercial, and have the team do most of the residential.
It's incredible. Kelly, what's the next level look like?
Well, this is a tough one, because there's a few different things for me that I want. One is I want to be able to vacation once a month. That's my one goal. And leveling up my price point too. I really want to keep going. So I've just been focusing on that a little bit too.
Is there anything specific real estate related that if you hit would allow you to vacation once a month? Or is it more just carving out the time and making sure you do it?
Yeah. It's pretty much carving out the time.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Danielle?
So building on that, because you guys each just gave one thing that you would like to achieve. What's one thing in how each of you guys would go about achieving that and leveling up to do that?
Following up with my CRM and Sphere and hitting up past clients. I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad. I could probably generate so much business if I took the time and did a lot more of that.
Same. For me, I feel like, again, it's probably just me being in my own head, but I have a large database, and what I find is, for me, I find that if I reach out, so I've only made a living in sales, but I don't really like salespeople, and so I feel like when I'm calling them or texting them that I'm feeling like I would if somebody would do that. So I just need to get out of my own way and continue to do that, because every time I do it, it's a great conversation, and so. Yeah.
We just signed a contract last night or this morning for like a new piece of our tech stack, and I was talking to the sales lady, and I'm like, you are incredible at follow-up. It's like, you want to come work at the Young Team, you can do that. I'm like, as a person, it was annoying as shit. As a professional, much respected. And it's like, I signed, and it's like, that's fine. But,
Yes.
Megan, what about for you?
So we have a plan for our social media for 2026. We kind of have it cut out into goals for the month, where we want to go and what we want to do on Google and YouTube. She's gonna hate me. And we have those goals set out. We kind of laid them out. For the commercial side of it, that is a wild animal, and I'm jumping into it. So I need to kind of let go of the residential part of that. That's an internal thing that I need to work on. And then just follow up with the commercial contacts that I have. So it's going to be a big challenge this year.
Kelly?
So last year was a rough year. To be honest, because the timing of when I came in 2021, essentially, the market was doing what it was doing and it was kind of running me. I think last year was my first experience where I was just kind of like, this wasn't just coming in. And I panicked and I flailed and I kind of lost sight of where I was talking about earlier about really sticking to my sphere and sticking to people that I can work with me and trust me and building off of that, right, and their families. So, and taking it to another goal of mine was to be a generational realtor for families. That has been a really big goal of mine, I have to say. But so like last year I just kind of flailed a little. So for me, I think I want to just make sure I really stay focused on my sphere and all the things that I know are going to help me grow and not all these outside things that weren't going to work.
Love it. Kate, you had a question?
Yeah, Mark, specifically for you, I know you've been in the business a long time, so do you see any kind of major similarities between when you got in the business, 2007, 2008, to the business now? And if you do, what are some of those biggest things you'd suggest to a newer agent who's entering the business at a down market or a tougher time to sell? And what would you have them do?
So yeah, I don't. The similarities are there in the sense that there's a stigma that it's a down market. When I remember, I passed my test. I walked in the office to sign the paper, to do whatever I had to do, and one of the agents that knew that I was taking my exam, she gave me a big hug and was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you're getting into this business right now," and I was just like, what? But I didn't know that it was bad. I mean, I knew it was bad because people said it was bad, but I had no prior experience to say, oh, today's a hard day compared to yesterday.
Yeah.
So I would tell a new agent, like, turn off the news. I mean, stay in tune to what's going on, but you are not, first of all, real estate is local. So when you hear like, Cape Coral's bad and Las Vegas is bad, like that doesn't matter. I mean, so it's local, number one. And number two, shut off the noise and have your, whatever it is that we all talked about in your own life and your own, business sense, have your check boxes and just grind out every single day like that. And ultimately what I've seen in now almost 20 years is agents come and go, and I love it when they go, and because it's more business for the ones that stay. And so it's not hard or easy. It is.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, Chris mentioned earlier, like you're struggling, you want to level up, get into different rooms with different people.
Mm-hmm.
Get into rooms with people that can appreciate this is not a down market,
Yep.
right? Like if you obviously the success of 3 of our panelists that have been in the industry not that many years, it's like they just don't have the experience. But listen to what Mark's telling you. It's like compared to 2008, this is an incredible market.
I have grown. I'll say something. We're in a politically charged environment with a lot of things that are happening right now, and they have been happening. I can tell you that I've been through, I think, 4 election cycles now or whatever, and there are years that I've made less money by choice in the sense that I went from 9 agents to 2, but I have sold more real estate per unit in the sense of how either just myself or my team is literally every single year. So it does not it does not matter who's in office, what the media says, what Wall Street's doing, right? That it will impact the environment that you're in, but it's up to you to control it.
Yeah, I always tell people too, I mean, listen, people are going to die, people are going to get divorced, married, kids, it doesn't matter who is in office or what your political stance is, those things will always happen. Like
Yeah.
it's always happening.
Yeah, and you can decide to walk into the ocean with a teaspoon or a bucket and shovel as much water as you want. That's up to you.
Love it. Who else has got another question? Any other questions?
I do.
Let's go back here and then we'll come up front.
Sorry, it's for Mark again, but why keep the remodel business and not just focus on real estate full time?
Great question, Joe. I am not artsy at all. Like, I can't draw a stick figure, but there's something about the before and after on a project that I like. So it's a little bit of an outlet to me. It drives me crazy, and I'm super busy with it. But
Money's not bad?
the money's okay. But the true answer is, if I gave up the contracting side and the flipping side, and I spent all the hours and time and energy that I do there onto selling houses, I would probably make more money selling houses. But there is a piece of it that I don't want to give up because it makes me happy.
We have seen this with a lot of agents before, on our team, off our team. It's like, if you have a creative outlet, if it is a relief valve for you, do it. Don't do it until you've truly established your primary business. I feel like so many people in this industry, it's like, you want to talk about, downline and secondary and tertiary streams of income.
Yep.
Get good at your first stream
Yep.
first.
The-
Then if you need that outlet, because like you said, there's almost guaranteed, it's like if you spend all that time focused just on selling,
Guaranteed.
You
I mean,
make
it's
more
not
money.
it's not a question. And by the way, the real estate sales business is the goose that lays the eggs that I can go and borrow money because they say, well, how can you pay it back? Oh, you've done that. Like, so without that, I can't do you know what I'm saying? So you have to stay focused. I don't think there's like a rule, but I would say that unless you are licensed full-time selling out, and obviously the market is different, but let's say you're in a $250,000 average, until you sell 200 or until you sell between 20 and 25 homes a year for 5 years in a row, do not do any outlet, because your mindset will shift.
the consistency piece, like the 5
Yeah,
years
yes.
in a row part is the
Yep.
real
Yeah.
piece.
So for the team builders here, you built your teams, and when you did it, when you started it, I'm imagining from what you guys have said, you realized at some point that you needed to do it, right? You needed to build a team just because you had so much business, or in your case, you had other interests, obviously. I'm curious about the first step and what it looked like for you. In other words, I mean, I'm following the Red Book model, right? I don't know how you guys are doing it or did it. I'm curious about that first step. Did you have the leverage that you needed before you brought on that first agent, for example? And when you did bring on that first agent, can you maybe share a little bit about what that looked like?
I'll let you go first.
So I've had my team for a year, so I'm like a little, infant in all of this. But so I was prepared to not pay myself a dime for a year and a half, because I was bringing on a transaction coordinator that I was responsible for myself, me. And to be honest with you, I was a little petrified to bring on someone that I was financially responsible for, and to bring on, I brought on 2 agents, and my business manager, transaction coordinator, she is an agent as well. So I brought on 3 all at the same time. And with my past career, I have the management skills. I thought that this, and it so far has been a blessing, but honestly, I was petrified. And I knew that my business was going to grow, and I needed help, and I needed people that were hungry just as much as I was. And I brought on 2 out of the 3 that were perfect, and they're here with me still. And then I sat back and thought, okay, I need another person, and I'd like someone new. So I brought on 2 more. And then I realized, okay, that's enough for a year. And I don't think that we're gonna grow. We're very happy with what we have right now. We have enough business to kind of cycle it through. And we don't pay for Zillow leads, and we don't pay for realtor.com leads. We pay for ourselves. We invest in ourselves as in events, in social media, in neighborhood events. We're doing a trunk or treat, and we're correlating it with a little postcard that's a coloring contest, and then you put it on social media. I mean, we do things a little bit out of the box. And when people came to our team, my team, that they knew that they were not gonna get, Zillow leads, that you were gonna get called and you had to answer them. It was more, let's organically grow and organically create a really genuine sphere.
I had a post. I just made a post on Facebook and said, I need help. I need. Is there anybody in real estate who could help? And a girl that I went to middle school with reached out and said, actually, I'm licensed with another agency, but I'm thinking about just hanging up my license. I was 20. I don't know. I was probably 25. She was about the same age, and she was like, I'm a single mom and I need steady income. And I'm like, great. I'll figure out how I can afford you. I know I need the help. And so I sat down with her for 15 minutes. We reconnected because I'd known her from the past, and she went from being a sort of a part-time to a full-time admin in about 3 months. And I learned very quickly doing that if you are hiring at a point that you feel like you need to hire, you're too late. So, and that's easy to say because it's like, oh, well, just, have the money and, do it, because everybody's got different, circumstances in life. But if money wasn't the issue, you should hire or delegate, or whether it's in-house or a third party, to handle the stuff that you need help with before it happens. And so, like I said earlier, that I know what I suck at, and I learned very, very quickly what I wasn't good at and what I did not want to ever do again. And I just basically made a sheet and said, here's what I hate to do. You're going to do all this. And that's how I started.
I will.
I just wanted to add on that just for a moment. I learned very young in my career that put a value of what you are worth per hour. And that value of what you need per hour, if transaction coordination or going to a home inspection or, all these things, if it's going to create this amount of hours of work for you, and if you don't think that your value can be done in that amount of time, or do you think that your value could be more making, 40 phone calls or whatever it is during those 2 hours of a home inspection, what are you worth? Where do you need to put your time? So that's what I had to do, is sit down and say, okay, I know that I'm responsible for somebody else's well-being at this point, but also I need to open up that value for myself so I can create more business.
I'll say this from our perspective, and then we'll wrap up, because I promised Kelly she'd be out of here at 12:10. It all sounds great. It gets a lot harder before it gets easier when you have a team. Because even when you talk about like the dollar per hour and the things you suck at and all this, it's like you are now dealing with other personalities. You have to train them. You have to, keep them, consistent with what your expectations are for your clients. It's like there's a lot of additional work that goes into having, an extension of yourself. And when you get it right, it's incredible. But as Mark said, it's like you have someone who's not the right fit, and you guys part ways, and then you take a step backwards. It is definitely not like a linear path. It comes with a lot of extra work.
It is not baking a cake, it's a science experiment.
Yeah, it's like, and it will explode a few times. And, you probably have to learn science first. And,
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store to get all the ingredients. But obviously, like the leverage piece is incredible, but there's a lot of additional work that goes into it. Cool. Well, appreciate all the questions. I'd like to thank the four of you. This is incredible.
Thanks for having us.
It's just incredible. I know Kelly has to jump. But for the rest of you, I'm sure everybody will hang out for a minute or two. If you guys have questions, please come up, talk to them individually. But if we could give a round of applause for these guys.